Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. We've got some important discussions to look at today. We're finally catching up on the recent conversations. On top of it all, there is some breaking news coming about, which I will get to very shortly, hopefully by tomorrow or the day after. But right now, we need to focus in on the recent heated conversations and messages. And I'm still one video behind, but I'm edging very closely. But one other thing which is edging to the point of a meltdown could be Justin Roy because of what they're saying in recent time, but they don't understand the process. They fail to understand the level of patience after all of this time amongst making mistakes, then apologizing, then understanding, and we're in a never-ending vicious cycle. And yet here we are after everything that's happened, with Justin Roy as well in the past, encouraging like a little goblin or gremlin amongst other people, granted, in reporting my videos. No apology since, from what I'm aware of. And that's what separates some from others and what I've seen in the past. Others in the past in 2022 in other cases did not apologise, and some gave half-hearted attempts and in sarcastic ways, and others just went completely quiet because they knew that they messed up. In this particular case community, some people have apologised since, but Justin Roy was mentioning about screenshots, conversations, whether it to be to do with Lelia or somebody else. What's going on there? How bad is it really? Justin tried reaching out to me, but on Facebook, there was no notification. I just couldn't find it. But instead reached out to me by email, which is rather interesting because I personally, directly, have never given Justin my email. So very interesting. But besides that, successfully obtaining the screenshots. I'm going to present them today. Did you hear that, Justin Roy? They're being presented today. Why not before? They just weren't accessible, right? Technology, glitches, whatever. You should know, Justin Roy, because in the past when you sent whatever and there was a delay or it didn't show clearly, and you say, well, why are you not doing this and why are you not doing that? What can I do if it's not there? And then other times when you sent something and then a second later you deleted it or hid it or removed it, and then you expected me to memorize it all, but also expected me to cover it. Then other times when you said, don't cover, don't do anything, and then a second later or a day later, you then end up posting about it public when it was supposed to be private. What's going on? It's hard to keep up with the erratic changes back and forth, and it's disappointing to see. But despite all of that, here I am acknowledging Justin Roy and what he's got to present. Is it to do with Ace Franco? Is it some kind of last line of defense? Is it setting the record straight? Is it providing context in regard to all that important stuff what we've looked at recently? Or is it something completely different? Well, you'll see in just a second, and I will read over it, I will analyse it, I'll give my closing thoughts about it, and then acknowledge some comments in the YouTube section, because there's other important bits there. But what I do want to say is, welcome to those that are watching this live premiere. Share your thoughts and reactions in the live chat box on the right. If you've got any questions, any additional comments, leave them down below under the video and I can respond back later, like I will do today in regard to retrospectively. If you want to catch up on recent coverage by me, you will find that top right corner where the I symbol is with the drop-down menu box. The little, it's not even a ... it's just an I symbol with the full playlist. If you want to support this channel in an alternative, more practical and anonymous way, there is a PayPal link down below in the pinned comment section. With that all being said, we're going to start off with Justin's screenshots, first of all, then followed by my analysis, then followed by the YouTube comment section, and hopefully you find it somewhat interesting. Big shout out to everyone last night who supported the channel. To my memory, at least from remembering people's names, I think it might have been Joyce Bergow or Robbie. It was Andrea, of course. It was John Doe, of course. There might have been 2 other people or 3 other people, but I can't remember it all off the top of my head, but it's all documented last night. Big shout out to everyone. That's very good to see. Oh, Beauty Gurumo as well. So we'll just keep the momentum going, the focus as well about the case, and begin. Right, so here is the first point of view from Justin Roy. It doesn't appear to show anything sensitive, so it should all be above board. Justin Roy, share all the screenshots, bro. I'm not your bro, okay? Let's make that very clear first of all. Justin says, these were on the same thread as the ones Lelia or Michelle Ray Brummett shared to you. Share all of it. Don't just pick and choose. Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. No, don't worry. We're going to look at them all and provide context. But let me make one thing a little bit clear to you, Justin. For you to say, don't be picking and choosing, that's rather rich when some of your screenshots in the past have been cropped or cut, whether that to be to suit an agenda or your tunnel vision mindset, focusing in on one or two words, going all in on it and neglecting the other parts and features. Very unfortunate, isn't it? Not in a position to be talking first of all. Strike one. Let's move on. They took out their comments from the thread and only used my comments. Well, here's all of them. They obviously changed the colour after kicking me out, but this is the same chat. What do you mean by changing the colour? Do you mean the background or so? Because I know you can customise it. So here we go, all on screen. I'm going to try and zoom in if possible. I don't know if comments can be all removed or if they disappear if you're blocked by someone. Maybe, maybe not. Noah's Ark. We've looked at this group conversation recently, but it was to do with older conversations, which I guess included Justin, which included Robin Willard Bishop, who in recent times said, oh, I'm rather shocked that I'm included in this. Well, don't be scuttling about, Robin Willard Bishop. I've seen your mouth going on a bit on Facebook. Simmer down for a second. As said, my memory is like an elephant at times. It is what it is. But what's the big deal here? Why is Justin so passionate about it? What is the true aim? Let's read. It does say blocked, as in from, I guess, Justin's point of view. Lelia, we definitely know it wasn't a train. Right, talking about the possible cause of death with Noah Presgrove. Michelle, I think they chased Noah down. His right foot was caught by a wheel pulling off his shoe. Losing it, he was pulled underneath, run over, his head was hit by something near the wheel, grabbing his hair, ripping it, and scalp away, probably breaking lots of bones, etc. Look at the gears and around the wheels. The wheels of what? A vehicle, a car, a side-by-side, a truck? What then? Possibly. But I still think them golf clubs were involved. If not then, why are they missing? So these, although at this moment in time I can't see like a timestamp attached, granted, I hope that these messages are in the correct order, and if they're not, that's unfortunate. I'm just working with what I've got. But the talk about golf clubs, relevant at the time, I understand that. Still to this day, me being honest, regardless of the resistance that I get from any side, I think the mystery of the golf clubs is dodgy. Do I believe completely that they were used on Noah? Less now than what I felt back then. There is a process to it all. However, if they haven't been returned, why not? Why is it so difficult? If it belongs to someone in the Presgrove family and they're still alive, well, they're entitled and deserving of having their property returned back. It's not a Noah Presgrove situation of, oh, it's his possessions. We need to use it as dish him out. To remember Noah, a reminder to honour him. You have this and you have that. Let's spread it all out. This is Dalen Presgrove's golf clubs and bag. Why have they not been returned? At least from what Noah Presgrove's family say. They've not acknowledged it. They still say it's missing, or at least Robin and Ashley have. Dalen hasn't spoken out since, so it's presumed still missing, not returned. Where did they go? Who took them? Why? If they're not important to the case and if they weren't used, It should just have been handled more better, in my opinion. So I still think it's a bit of a mystery. That does need to be ticked off the list, whether it be a rumour, whether it be the truth, as in, where are the golf clubs and bag? Does Dalen have them, yes or no? We heard it from Caden Pressey's side about scrapyard found there. Later conversation with Dalen, meeting first time round or so, amongst the case onwards, talking about it. Then it rung a bell. And then later Caden said it wasn't there anymore. So I'm guessing Caden went back to try and find. They weren't there. How true is any of that? Because there was some counterpoints along the way, as we've heard. And whilst I believed in it at the time, obviously with the cracks forming since, it does make me doubt other areas, which is unfortunate. That's just what happens. Now, what do we have here? They always are. Michelle, it's been a bitch fest and a Justin bash for a while now. So take in mind, for context, this was in the past. Maybe weeks ago, maybe a few months ago. I can't quite pinpoint it. Because at the time, Michelle and some others on the side of Justin Roy, and as we know since, things have changed. So there's the context. Then we've got Robin, also known as Robin Willard Bishop, who was problematic back then, who turned on me or changed their thoughts about. I don't think it was quite face-to-face. It might have been more so in the background, more so on Facebook. Not seen them change since, but, you know, the way they acted all shocked and surprised recently, I don't quite get that. But they said at the time, Justin is the only one in that group I've ever thought was truly wanting justice for Noah. Michelle at the time said, Ref has ventured from putting out unbiased information to actually pushing their theories, as in people from the dark side. So this Michelle, known as Michelle Ray Brummett, present on my channel still to this day and a member. Things have changed since in a positive direction. I'll provide a bit more context shortly. Robin, I wish Partners in True Crime would hurry up with updates. Well, Partners in True Crime are the ones that said, I think it might have been towards the start of 2025 or just a bit before, that there are big updates coming, that there is big news. Arguably, it might have been around the time back in 2024 with the whole Netflix situation and possible documentary. And they said, we've got big news. Nothing happened. 2025, we're returning back to the case. But depending on how you interpreted the wording or language, it might have been more so worded as we're returning back to doing more coverage on YouTube and the possibility of Noah Presgrove. What ended up happening amongst that big news and wave of updates? Let's try and silence Warlike Wrath. Partners in True Copyright. Yeah, that's really helpful. Even though credit was given, even though acknowledgement was given, even though 99% of the time I've spoken positive of Partners in True Crime, and yet some doubt me. Not good. Michelle said Brooke Bounds Carter donated $99 one day and $50 the next. Okay, well, it is where it is. Shout out to those that have supported the channel since, and I've just remembered now, shout out to Michelle Ray Brummett last night for their super chat. And I think, was it Sherry or Hellstrom, however you say the name? I think they did that last night as well. It's good how the names are ringing a bell in my head as I remember. Do we have actual timestamps or dates? Maybe it might be later on. I was thinking golf clubs. Oh, he was likely running because he was being hit by the clubs whilst being chased. Chased and hit, tripped. That's how the shoe was list. His heel was injured. Right, okay. A chasing situation. It's a theory we've touched upon in the past, which I've applied on my map projects. I implemented at the time a possible ambush, being carried or dragged, shoes dragging through grass and loose bits of debris collecting within the shoelace part. It makes sense. However, it was Alicia Lee on Facebook, a post or a DM where she acknowledged that Caden Pressey with his Hey Dude shoes, the reason why there was grass in those shoelaces is because he was getting in and out of the I think, Ford Ranger, Sunday afternoon into evening when they were driving about shooting randomly at animals. No guarantee that Noah did the same thing, but Noah was with Caden, so if Caden got out and Noah did too, the chances of Noah with grass in his shoelaces increased because it happened to Caden. That's fine. That reasoning ability rules out, to some extent for me, that Noah was dragged or ambushed in that sense, dragged around the corner, around the back of the building or near to the barn, then taken out that way. It just helped clear it up at the time. So I'm referring back to older theories and ideas which I came up with and analysed myself. Lelia, I don't know. That one hit ripping his scalp so bad I think possibly would have incapacitated him, but maybe not, and he took off running and was hit from behind. But I still would think there would have been injuries to his legs in that aspect. See, at the moment, I'm not too sure what Justin is trying to get at here. Okay, we've not seen these before, but some of these conversations are kind of like what have come about on my chat on and off. So what's the big deal? The heel was caught by the tyre, form of impact. Okay, very possible, very possible. Can't quite see that one. It's a four-wheeler. I just have natural investigative mind, like I can follow wind and other things to find the trajectory of something. Ooh, okay, Lilia. And turn into Batman. I agree. Makes me wonder how many more Ellie has that haven't been released. You know, those girls basically all being in competition over Noah's attention had taken many, many more. That's by Sherry. Was there competition there at the party? I mean, you got Noah Presgrove sleeping on the floor besides Logan Jernigan. Logan Jernigan in a relationship with anyone at the time? Not to my knowledge. Noah Presgrove in a relationship at the time? Yes. Girlfriend not present at the party. Different outcome if the girlfriend was there? Who knows? Former girlfriend or some kind of connection at some point before that? Anyone present? I suppose he links back to Avery, Combs, Avery, Howard. Avery not too pleased if she had found out that Noah had done anything with someone like Logan Jernigan, because the talk, not directly from the horse's mouth, but more so from the odd of a party goer and some discussions online, is about how Avery said, I will kill you, or something like that, if I find out that you've done anything with someone else. And I don't know why Avery would be like that or a little bit tense if it's all clear and people are all aware that Noah is in a relationship with someone who's not even at the party, unless it wasn't defined or classified clear enough. Not everybody knew, or maybe it was deemed or treated as very casual and meaningless. So, oh well, I'll use you on the sideline, or we'll go here, we'll go there, pass the parcel. Depends. But the theme of girl trouble, the tension between Noah and Jack, somewhat present from what we've heard. As to whether it was violent or not, it differs, doesn't it, between what Justin says and what Caden says. Caden actually being there, somewhat witnessing it, Justin not being there, yet saying it got aggressive and Caden had to break it up, break the fight up. And Caden said, no, I didn't do anything like that. So that's great, isn't it? What's going on there? Curb stomping. I mean, curb stomping can definitely lead to broken teeth, but possibly a broken jaw as well. Was there a broken jaw with Noah? Unless he was just chased down, tripped, and then attacked. Attacked what? Because of the motive and the theme of girl trouble, jealousy, embarrassing the party host. As said, some of this may not be as relevant now. People here, their mindsets may have changed a little bit since, and as well, sick and tired of Justin, etc. But there's no harm in retrospectively looking back, just to see if there's any points which I've missed out on or things I didn't acknowledge previously. Chase down. Y'all, the heel injury has me scratching my head, looking for possibilities. Is it possible that they dragged him? I did do a video about that, actually, a demonstration. I've always thought he was drugged somehow, explaining the grass in shoes. Yeah, okay. But from what Alicia said about Caden getting in and out of that Ranger when they were driving about Sunday, shooting animals. If Noah had done the same thing, Noah may have, brushed against the vegetation because they were driving through that field on site of the property. And that field had vegetation at the time, quite possible. Oh, Michelle with a long comment. Oh, bloody hell. I'm not sure what they're exactly trying to do. They couldn't get full support on Justice or Army Pay, so Sofa Sleuths was created, then the various case discussion groups. I don't know about Sofa, but the case discussion group wasn't going along completely either, so they created the sub on Reddit again because the original thread on Reddit wasn't going along with them either. They definitely took over chats on Wrath, I guess as in the dark side took over Warlike Wrath's chat, but in fairness, the light side, all they had to do was leave a few more messages, that's all. But I guess some people backed off. Are they recruiting, and why? It doesn't matter how many people agree with them, the truth is coming out. The party hosts are guilty, not even denying that at this point. So what are they trying to accomplish? So in terms of what Michelle said then, of course, anyone who wants to, you can share your thoughts right now in the live chat or the comment section in regards to what you think. Do you still stand by certain points, or has your mindset changed? Do you believe that the party host is guilty? And if so, guilty for what exactly? Yeah, I don't buy it. I said from day one that had he fell from a vehicle or had been hit by a vehicle, there would have been injuries to his extremities. So that is completely out of question. And Zachary, if he told Jack that, then he had possibly suspect viable information about something. See, what Zachary Wright may have told Jack, has Zachary repeated the same thing to Noah's family or not? Doesn't seem like it, in my opinion. I don't buy it. I've said from day one that, okay, yeah, if he told Jack, then a possible suspect, viable information about an active, suspicious death investigation, which is BS. Girl, there's no telling. Truth is coming out. They can't really hide it. I know they're desperate and grasping for straws. Good question. I believe they're just trying to buy time, hoping it'll just go away. But will it? Odds are it's not new, and that says by Michelle. But we will find out. I can barely sit through the chats lately. A lot of narcissistic people in there. I guess that's just like a reference to the live chat of my videos, but of course I can't control other people's behaviour, and yeah, some people along the way have said, well, use moderators. But the moment you use moderators is the moment that you're doubting your own channel, doubting and losing control, where you feel you've got to implement control. And that can have its own issues, as we've seen. Lilia, honestly, I quit following him back when he started feeding into the party host drama. I quit following him because most of the evidence that he was saying was new and yada yada yada. We've known it all along, but these shorts that made doubt the murder theory. Sorry, theory has me wondering what about to be said. Right, so at the time, and thank goodness we finally get a timestamp date, February 11th at 11:55 a.m. So many days before my birthday at the time. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Well, in fairness, the second thing that comes to my mind is another person's birthday as well, of course. But interesting. So the reason why this is important is a conversation like this and what we've seen on the previous slides around February, early on in 2025. What are we in now? April? Obviously, things have changed since and people have come back to my channel. I believe Lilia may have been on my channel in the past, of course, along with Michelle Ray Brummett and some other people. And then there was that period, that little phase, rough patch, where thoughts changed. I didn't see it initially or clearly enough, and then other people passed on things, then I saw it, what people were thinking of and saying about me somewhat negatively. But of course, I did my videos, defended myself as usual, and as time has passed by, apologies here and there or support in a positive way, and things are back on track. So at this moment in time, it's under control. And, as for other people, as we've seen, other people may have not apologised. Other people may have spazzed out and gone elsewhere. And they've become a bit of a lost cause, so it is what it is there. Things can change, things can stabilise once again, and that's what we've demonstrated here. But what Justin Roy is trying to do, slipping in some of these conversations by saying, oh look, that's what Lelia was saying about Warlike Wrath, quitting following Wrath at the time, because of the evidence that was provided, blah, 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 wasn't that big of a deal. We've already seen it before. Right. That's what they thought at the time. Things have changed since. But I think what Justin is trying to do is cause division, to try and fuel into my mind and make me think, oh, look, that's what Lelia thinks of me. That's what Michelle thinks of me. And then it's, the attempts may be made to try and get me angry or pissed off, so then I respond back in a negative way. But that's not the case, because I'm aware of what's already happened and it's been resolved since. And thankfully, the timestamp date is shown on screen. So around that time, bit before, maybe a bit onwards, is when we had that rough patch. What I will say though is, just in response to a bit about the evidence, depending what type of evidence my videos were covering at the time, I think that Mikey Lair Snapchat, very important, very, very important. And I was the first one to cover it, present it publicly. And then so did other people follow. And that's all because of the bridges being built, acting accordingly, listening and doing what one can, whilst other people in the past obviously have burnt bridges down with others, and how people react. But it's under control. Not sure he's been refuting the murder theory for a while now. The way he kisses the arses of certain people in the chat is kind of gross to me. Is it or just another new twist on something we already know? Right. So Michelle at the time thought that I was using my lips on people's asses. Okay. Well, I can tell you I didn't, because my mouth is clean. Might be hard for some people to realise. But it's all fine here. No infections, man. Okay. But besides that, I don't know why I got lost in thoughts then. Is that it, the convo? Oh, is that really it? So really, to summarise from that is, Justin Roy has presented me outdated conversations which weren't shown at the time of when I did a previous video, I guess. As for the aim of Justin Roy's mindset is, yo bro, use them all, don't be picking and choosing, that's it. Well, what do we get from it? It's out of date. Things have changed since. As for mindsets, people that may have spoke negatively of me behind my back then, it's been resolved now. Is this a means of divide and conquer? Because if so, it's failed miserably. But it does show as a public, semi-live presence, people are seeing it in motion, or at least the attempts to do that. The only other thing that I took from those discussions were the mindsets and opinions of who could be responsible, how Noah may have died, more so murder related. Do those people still think the same now? Who knows? But how big of a deal is it? Things can change in between, right? So I don't really feel too much from that, because it's old stuff. But as for Justin's aim, I was expecting more in a way. Around the whole Ace Franco video, I thought, right, setting the record straight amongst that. But it was actually to do with other stuff which just didn't feel as impactful. Unless something is missing. I mean, it seems like there weren't cropped, the screenshots, which is a miracle for once. So there's that. But you can let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Did you pick up on anything? Are you surprised? Or it was just a grasping at straws attempt to do something random? Besides that, let's look at something a little bit more harder hitting, the comments on my recent video. Let's work our way down to the bottom. Thankfully, we don't have as many comments to get through today, unlike yesterday's where it was over 140. We got Michelle Brummett here, waiting with anticipation. So it's actually a good thing to look at these comments here because it just like shows the progress since with what Justin Roy was showing a bit earlier with the screenshots, which date back to February 2025, if not a bit earlier, how things have changed since. Michelle, positive, excited for the videos. Other people as well in between. So okay. +1, just as, yeah. Oh, Justin already. Responding to Tim Daniel. Someone from that party knows exactly what happened to Noah that morning. Watch and see. Wonder what excuse you'll come up with when I'm right. Wait, Justin is saying that one person knows what happened to Noah. A few days ago, Justin was saying everyone knows what happened to Noah, as in after 2 a.m. Why the bloody hell are we so fixated on 2 a.m? Why does it have to be after 2 a.m? That's when everybody knows what happened. And now Justin is saying someone knows. Someone? Everyone? This wording is so reckless and all over the place. So erratic. I see it more now. I've seen it with people in the past as well, so don't worry about that. But this is a problem. It's like one day saying 95% of fish have 100 teeth. The next day you say, no, actually 1% of fish have 10,000 teeth. Oh, and then the next day you say 2.5% actually have 10,000 teeth. Which one is it? Make your mind up, right? Response-wise, Joyce, there's no denying someone knows something. Here's the thing, you state you're always right. You try to state everything as a fact, when in fact you're wrong on so many things and levels. Tim's reasonable, but man, you are a sheet for nothing, Mr. Know-It-All. Oh, what do we have here? Now live, mid-season sales. Nope. We need to focus in on these comments and they're like flicked off. If Justin is always right, so the time when Justin Roy made the prediction that someone or some people will try and flip it and say that Noah Presgrove was raping someone at the party or tried to and it all backfired and went wrong, that in the end no one actually came up with that theory, but people attached what Justin was saying, misinterpreting it as stating as it did happen. Justin's prediction backfired on himself. I came out like a phoenix and defended him with reasoning ability, language and wording when a lot of people were against Justin at the time. Oh, that gets forgotten about, doesn't it? Over and over again. How embarrassing. That one girl says, I'll give you this and only this. Someone does, in fact, know something. Is it anyone from that party? I personally couldn't tell you. Imagine this. It's someone kin to you that may know. Put yourself in another person's shoes. You know, those who you've continuously accused. It would be a damn shame if it was someone closer to you than you think. Careful, one girl. Justin may interpret that as a threat, man. Anyway, it would also be a shame if it was no one that attended that party. Can you imagine all the accusations for nothing? But then that worry of someone out there possibly responsible and the unknown, where are they? What will they do next? Are they going to harm somebody else? Kind of like the possibilities with at the time, the Idaho 4 Brian Koberger case. Justin, what have I stated as fact? Social hosting party did cause Noah's death, and Noah was not hit by a vehicle on the highway. Well, in terms of a hit and run scenario, police did rule that out. What else? You do realise I have talked to several partygoers that think Noah was met with foul play. It's a shame they don't speak up enough then. Why would they all think that? Besides names, because obviously Justin doesn't like mentioning names of identities because he keeps them quiet, in terms of numbers, how many people exactly did you speak to? what's happening here, in my personal opinion, they are working on something to get less charges or to make it some type of accident and be Noah's fault. And to be honest, ever since, it's been rather quiet, so there's not been much desperate attempts to try and change or adjust stuff. Some people have been more focused on with moving on in life, and others have been more focused on in trying to have a good time, even if other people say but they're probably not deserving of it. Anyway, so if they come out and say it was just an ATV accident, what then? Guess I was right and they have lied this whole time, just like I said, and the truth should something told from the very beginning, just like I said. But I think they really thought that staged hit and run would work, and that's sickening and sad. You don't think so, Joyce? Well, if it was like a desperate attempt to stage it in that sense, well, didn't police really early on rule it out? What has happened since? Like, as for desperately scrambling about, I've not really seen. And Tim or George or Brooke Bounds-Carter are not reasonable. They are part of the cover-up crew and just want this to be some accident on the highway. This was not an accident on the highway. We all know it. Just get over it with and tell the truth. Oh, God, this is cringe. You know, there was a time when Brooke Bounds-Carter was actually understanding it from Robin Smith's point of view, when I believe Robin Smith was going on about how it can't be party goers responsible, but at the same time it feels like people are hiding stuff. What the hell's going on? Amongst that convo thread, or the one before or after it, where Robin at one point thought it is cold-blooded murder, party goers responsible, then the other time changing to no, it's not possible. One of the comment threads, Brooke Bounds-Carter was saying, yes, well, I'm glad you can kind of see it better now, and, you know, I do acknowledge, or I do understand that what if there is the possibility that it's somebody else from the party or somebody else passing by that may know something or may be responsible. Now, Brooke can correct me if I've worded that wrong, but that's what I remember at least at one point in the comment thread. And if Brooke, of all people, you know, and I don't mean that as an insult, you know, shows that reasoning ability that, yeah, partygoers may not be responsible, or I know them to not be responsible because they're good people, but I do understand from your point of view that it could be somebody else, it could be another partygoer, it could be a stranger. That's always a possibility. So if that can be shown, then that's a form of reasoning ability. And yet Justin does not even acknowledge that, just glances over it. As for Tim Daniel, very reasonable considering, you know, over the course of time. Tim Daniel, very patient. As for George, not really had many run-ins with George at all, so I don't really know much there. But I think Justin is kind of glossing over it a bit too quick, not acknowledging some of the positives at times. Anyway, George, who would be at blame if, say, a meteorite hit Noah causing his death? You would still be claiming social hosting killed him. Oh, God. Oh, no. And Justin says that one girl, oh, I'm pretty confident someone from that party knows exactly what happened to Noah. If it was my kin, then I would tell them to tell the truth and get it over with. Actions have consequences. They all know how I feel. Noah deserves the truth. I'm also pretty confident Ellie knows too. That's why they stopped the interviews where they did. Well, the police stop him. And then Justin to George, now you are just being stupid, like always, George. Well, it's not being stupid. What George has done is given an example and scenario that I would do in life with many humans out there. Use an abstract but possible example. Use an extreme case scenario to really see how people respond back, to measure the competence levels of them. And it can be very telling. So there's that. Justin doesn't really acknowledge it. Justin just jumps in and says, well, that's stupid anyway. Well, there's probably been some other silly points along the way which weren't acknowledged as silly, were they? Anyway, Justin, you do realise I have the screenshots where you wrote an email letters about social hosting and why hasn't it been charged in the case? Should I share them? At one point in time, you pushed hard for social hosting and believed foul play. you never believed murder, but you always thought it happened on that property and Noah was moved to stage a hit and run. That's foul play to George. Should I share all those screenshots? Seems you flipped for a reason. Wonder what that could have been. Now, in terms of my thoughts on the social hosting, I would have done some coverage at some point saying, you know what, maybe it is needed. Maybe there's a reason to look into it. But then when it came to Ashley, Chadwick, Robin Smith, when they were going on about how it's probably not a good idea or it's pointless, then I thought, right, let's understand it from that point of view. Okay, double jeopardy, overlaps. If they've got a strategy, you don't want it to be ruined by something else. Yeah, I can get that. And then ultimately, my final conclusion later on was, at the end of the day, social hosting law is broken. What about all the other parties, future and past and present? Do they get seen the same way? Deaf or not? No. People turn a blind eye. People pick and choose what's acceptable and what's not, depending on the party. So, not enough consistency, in my opinion. George says, sorry, just applying logic. Good luck connecting Noah's death to social hosting, in other words, and I don't care what you share. You started the sharing, and I'm going to finish it all the way to KSWO News. So, share to your heart's content. I've got way more. Oh, no. Oh, here we go again, Justin. Oh, I doubt that, little boy George. You literally doxed everyone, including Ellie. I have a nice folder of everything you have done and created. Wonder if this was your plan the whole time. Everyone sees right through you as well. Wonder why you are banned everywhere, lol. George, the snake. And you have no logic. Just a vindictive old man that had no life. That had no life. Well, to say had means in the past. So what does that mean now? You really think these people care about you, George? They just used you to get information and to get Alicia's drop box. You do realise if it was an ATV accident and stage hit and run, that's foul play to go, and they still lied about it for over 20 months. There's definitely going to be legal consequences if that happened. One reason I don't believe that, there's definitely more to this case. Carl, here's Carl. So Ellie knows and stopped interviews like you said. Now what? What happens from here? No idea why they stopped interviews. They have to know what happened. Guess we just wait like everyone. Anyone with common sense can see foul play happen here. This wasn't some random hit and run. Evidence does not support that. Okay, George, Roy Boy, the Justin and Michael Felon duo. Oh no. Oh, bloody hell. Bloody George here. I'm trying to keep a straight face and then these comments keep showing up. Is this Batman and Robin? We'll soon get all the media attention they crave. What exactly were those felony charges out in, California during your Air Force days? The media will want to know what drives your insanity, to add a little context. That was a very long thread, to be honest. We've got Keith. Thanks, Warlike Wrath. This will make a great Netflix show when everything comes out. Keep thinking a lot of information to put out since 2023 is on purpose to help with conviction. Right, well, you're welcome. Glad you liked the video. As for the Netflix situation, I don't know what's gone on there, because I know in 2024 there was supposed to be some Netflix coverage, but then Jan Fiorillo did not like it. I don't know about Noah's family, though. Not heard much since. We've got Brenda. Warlike Wrath, good video. Appreciate that. I do agree. Noah Presgrove's family is important enough to have Caden's phone analysis. Yeah. And then Andrea, yes, people are missing that Alicia herself thought the family should have it. Because we saw with the conversational text that Alicia was like, yep, you can have this, you can have that, you can come round, you can have it all. But once you've got it, leave my son alone. Okay, fair enough. But did it happen? From the looks of it, no. So what happens now? We've got Ajax. Moot, importantly, what is the timeline with evidence of any official CSI? Caden was only one person who gave any statement. Where's the statement of all the others at the party? Maybe you need to highlight they made no statement. Keep highlighting it forever. Oh, that's funny. Way too much focus on Caden and not a CSI completely distorted. You are barking up the wrong tree. Wait, who's barking up the wrong tree? Me or somebody else? Start making me sound like a dog. The official numbers seems to reveal all in this case, not mentioning anything significant. Oh, 553. What, Tyler Hardy? Justin, would love to see the other party goers' interviews. Oh my God, here we go again. Right, if you talk about it from partisan true crime, I can understand that. But if you're talking about party-goers, police interviews, if it's all agreed upon more so universally that these police interviews are private for a reason, and the only reason why Caden's was publicly revealed is because it was leaked down to incompetence and sharing it to the wrong people, which should not have happened in the first place. Should have been kept private, would have benefited Caden a lot more, and a lot of the general public would have been completely blind to all this shocking twist and turns. So it's unfortunate what happened. It's put Caden in a messy situation with time, because I'm sure Caden did not want it to be revealed or released, but it did by the hands of others. Other people's interviews have not been looked into because they're not publicly available, because how they were handled was done better. Not, oh, we'll just share it here, we'll share it with a friend, we'll share it with someone online. Shouldn't be sharing it in the first place, to be honest. Right? You know, in fairness, you can say, well, can't complain, at least we got to see Caden's, a way to learn and pick up on stuff, and it's been valuable. But it's unfortunate the circumstances and the outcome of it coming about. Now, if Justin wants the other interviews, then you could indirectly interpret the words, not from Justin, but just in general, that, oh, well, if Caden's interview gets leaked, then all the other partygoers' interviews need to get leaked, hacked, or whatever else in between. Or maybe they should all have stayed private. Because what about Caden Pressey's 2023 interview? Arguably more important than the 2024 one, because the memory would be more fresh. Compare, contrast from 23 to 24. Ain't going to happen, though, because the 2023 interview is still private. That one wasn't leaked or put in that Dropbox. So we need to acknowledge the incompetence which has come along the way. It's simple. 10 people, one location, in desert with a dead body. A desert? We're in bloody Oklahoma. What's going on here? Is it that dry? Assumed on maths, all guilty until one reveals that happened. Few go missing, one doesn't return. No one knows who is with the missing person. Yeah, right. Missing person. Wait, are you giving a scenario now? More so, vague one. So it tells me not only the kids, but also some of the parents may be found guilty of aiding in the cover-up. It is often the case that those who shout the loudest have the most to hide. Well, that's a bit awkward, because Justin has been a very shouty person in this case. So you kind of undone that there. That's a bit awkward. I agree, but be careful, you will get attacked for your opinion. Oh, no. Oh, no. Did Justin really say that? Oh, no. Really? Because I'm sure it wasn't that long ago where people were getting kicked and removed left, right and centre just for questioning Caden Pressey's timeline or inquiring about something, asking a question, and it led to people saying, well, if you question Caden, that means that you're biased, it means that you're not balanced, it means that you're a naughty person, you're on the dark side, you've got deep pockets, you're getting paid off, you've chosen your side, you've chosen your bed, and we don't want you anymore. Really? Oh, no. Rachel Miller. To be fair, Jack did multiple interviews, albeit terrible interviews that did nothing to help this credibility, but he did do them. And that's something. But I guess Justin also referring to the proper interviews. Oh, no. 46 responses. Bloody hell. Where's my water at? Right, we'll have to try and get through them now. Justin, wonder what excuse Brooke Bounce-Carter and Tim Daniels are going to have when they find out the kids were lying this whole time and they tried to claim Noah died on the side-by-side and they panicked. Wonder what excuse that'll make for them. Probably blame me somehow. Why? When I knew it didn't happen on the highway. I said that from day one, and I really believed they thought the hit-and-run scenario would work, and they were looking for lesser charges, in my opinion. Just tell the truth and get it over with. 20 months, almost, my nephews have not been interviewed. It's pretty safe to say that they're not persons of interest in this case unless OHP is incompetent. Heck, they didn't even want to interview Caden Pressey. Yes, but Caden Pressey was interviewed. He was interviewed. You've seen it yourself. So why, recently, Justin, did you say that Caden, like your nephews, have never been interviewed? What, are we saying about the whole Dropbox and Caden's interview being leaked or hacked never happened? It was all imaginary in our minds, in our dreams? What? Anyway, He had to go to HP 2 different times, and they did not want his cell phone. It's safe to say Caden is not a person of interest in this case. So who's left? Who went looking for Noah, supposedly? Who pinged near Noah? Who gave Noah a shower and there's a picture of it? Who took a polygraph? Who lawyered up? Those are your people of interest. Those people, as in Jack Newton, Carter Combs. Anyone else? Jasmine Millan, because those are some of the people that are involved in those events, what Justin's referring to. Furthermore, everyone wants to see Ken Press's phone data. Why doesn't everyone show their phone data from 2 in the morning until 8? Why are we talking about 2 in the morning? What about 1 in the morning? What about at 00:00 a.m.? You get past midnight going into early hours of Monday morning. Any time of Monday morning at 00:00 onwards is important, right? Because at 00:48, 12:48, in other terms, is the time of when we saw the conversation with Caden Pressey and Alicia. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, 12:48 in the morning of Monday is, I believe, when Georgia was throwing up outside. And then after that point, Alicia was like, right, you got to stick with Georgia and follow her. 1:42 in the morning, no response from Caden in between 12:48 to 1:42 in the morning. So Alicia's like, right, that's it. No response. I'm calling Melissa, Georgia's mom. 1:52, 1:53, call Maiden and down to the highway. That's important, right? Okay? We need to acknowledge really early on, from the moment Monday morning comes about, anything onwards. But if you want to be specific, 2 in the morning, why 2 in the morning? Because it benefits Justin Roy, because anything before 2 is when his people left. So then that's all good, and we'll just focus on everybody else. Why not push it further? It was Justin Roy that was so passionate about what happened in between 3 in the morning to 3:15. I remember that very clear. Radio silence, no social media, very quiet at the party between 3 in the morning and 3:15, so something must have happened then. Does anyone remember that post, those comments by Justin back then? What I would say personally is 3:20, 3:30 onwards, because that's around the time of when Noah supposedly walked away. So the moment Noah walks away, if it's a cat and mouse situation, who followed him, who was nearby, who passed by, who saw him walk off, was anyone else further on down that dirt road and whatnot? Who cares about 2 in the morning? 2 in the morning is not the time of when Noah supposedly passed away. I mean, unless the reference of the timing of the side-by-side rollover, if that's accident turns out to be the time when Noah actually truly died and it was covered up, that closer to 2 in the morning is more relevant to that, because that's around the time closer to when it happened. So you need to look at that point, that moment, that event, and who it was about. I get that. But it still seems to be 3:30 when Noah walked away, and that's not really changed since. So you'll be focusing more on that and not earlier on. You want to be more specific, but oh boy. So y'all delaying the inevitable. Tell the truth, get it over with. From the very beginning, I stated I just want truth about what happened to Noah. That's it. The justice part is up to the family, but stop with the lies and just tell the truth. Everything I have ever said from the Partigo medical professionals, podcast news, please tell me one thing I've just made up. Well, one thing that you made up, Justin Roy, is when you said, and you poorly worded it, that 95% of the human race, I think, believed it to be foul play or some kind of darkness in the case. But it was a part of a poll that you did on one of your pages or groups. Whereas maybe 95% did believe it to be a certain way. How you worded it in the comment section on YouTube, you did not specify where it came from. You just worded it as in 95% of the human race believe it to be a certain way, when that's not the case. So there's that. Okay. Spencer, honestly, I can't think of any lies you said. That's my opinion. Okay. Twinkling, oh, Justin, here's the thing. They'd be willing to admit they were and apologise if it came to that. Caden got an interview, but you took it upon yourself to tell Caden and his mother that they needed to contact Anthony Linares. Even OHP officer stated he just got off the phone with you 10 minutes before Caden did that call, which is interesting, is it not? If that interview was really needed with Caden, they would have found him. And it's interesting, if Justin Roy is kind of wording it as if, yeah, Caden Pressey, the police wanted nothing to do with him. He's not a person of interest. He's never been interviewed. Oh, but by the way, myself, Justin Roy, I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that Caden is interviewed because, he's not a person of interest. It doesn't look like he is, but I'm still going to get him to be interviewed. What? Justin Roy also said what about all the other partygoers that have lawyered up, that they need to be looked into? Caden Pressey has a lawyer as well. You kind of done yourself in there. It's wording. Anyway, Joe says, just like if it's necessary for your nephews to be interviewed, they would have contacted them. You might not state names of who you think that killed him, but constantly stating the rest of them who were at the party and who did this is basically calling them murderers. You calling them suspects is basically saying they are. So I wonder how Justin Roy would feel if another partygoer or a parent of a partygoer went behind Justin's back, made a call to police and then made a call to Justin's nephews and said, hey, you need to get in contact with Anthony Linares. Even if the police didn't want anything to do with Justin's nephews and Justin felt, well, that means that they're innocent. If another partygoer's parents or guardians went behind Justin's back, made a call into police and said, hey, you got to reach out to Justin's nephews, how would Justin react there? Because in a way, Justin has done that towards Caden, as in setting Caden with Anthony up like a blind date in some way. Was it needed? Justin, there's not any. They just want to discredit me every chance they get because they know I speak the truth. And Twinkling says, blah, 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 blah. Everyone at the party house after 2 a.m. is a suspect, in my opinion. But didn't you say just a bit before that someone, like one person knows? Now you're saying everyone may know something. Even if my own son was there, they know exactly what happened to Noah that morning, my opinion. You don't think so? I have screenshots from you too. Should I release them? Okay, so Justin has lots of screenshots of different people inquiring about should I release them. What good does that do? You're not going to make me look like the bad guy here, no matter how hard you try. Unfortunately, Justin, at times you've made yourself look like the bad guy, and at times I've had to try and pick the pieces up of your own mess to try and clear things up, to calm things down, and that supposedly wasn't enough, was it? I'd love to hear all the other partygoers interviews like we did Caden Pressey's. Yes, but Caden Pressey's, if we're talking about the police one, was leaked and hacked by the incompetence of other people sharing it in the first place. What? Is that supposed to happen the same with all the other partygoers? Get them all leaked and hacked? That doesn't sound responsible, does it? Also, absolutely have no idea why I wanted Caden Pressey to talk with all. It was another piece to his puzzle that he didn't want, apparently. Just like them not interviewing my nephews. Why not get all the pieces to the puzzle if you want to solve the case? But you, Justin, at the time, only had 2 pieces of a puzzle. And Anthony said there's 5 pieces in total. And one of the 2 pieces of yours wasn't correct. And you're trying to solve it with only 2. But you need 5. Oh no. Have we forgotten? My point, they already know what happened to Noah and they're lying about it. What, the police? BBC, Stevie Howard, all of them know exactly what happened to Noah that morning, so why lie about it and continue to BS? Them letting it go on this point, letting it go on this long is sickening and absolutely ridiculous. What are they waiting for, Joyce? Oh, we're on first term names now. Bloody hell. Of course, I've stated in the past that I felt that the partygoers know a lot more, and yes, I felt them partygoers were suspects. So you're going to use screenshots from a couple of months to several months ago of what happened. Of course, Justin, go ahead. No shame in any game. I feel someone knows what happened and maybe they do know more. Please post, I don't care. I give you my permission. I'll just add to it as well. Not one person is making yourself look the way upset for you. You say and do to make yourself this way. Justin, I'm sure they're waiting on as much as we are. We don't know because we aren't there. Placing the blame game is not going to solve this. You yelling at Ellie is corrupt and not helping anything because you don't know what the hell they're doing. I like of what I've heard and the messages that have been put out there, you seem more corrupt than them. Oh, they're tired of the BS. This is not me. This is how you are. And your actions speak for itself. Not once did I say I was making you look bad. Or not stand around and watch you blame 8 other individuals or whatever saying they're suspects while you say Caden isn't. Don't give me that shit. Man, it tells for its own self that you flip-flop your own words and can't keep straight of exactly how you feel. Dude, you're all over the place. Erratic, basically. Why are you even commenting? You are literally part of the problem. You're from the area. Know everyone involved. You went to high school with them. You are not fooling anyone, Joyce. You don't want truth and just... Wait, How could Joyce Bergow be going to high school with the party goers? There's an age difference, isn't there? What? Twinkling says, man, you're really an idiot. Yes, you're damn right, I'm from there. I'm not the problem, Justin. You're such an idiot that they were 6 or 7 or more years older than me. Yeah, love how you state, I don't want anything. How? What you don't know won't hurt. Don't worry, I've got information that's being given to who needs it. Go ahead, Justin, keep spewing. I'm not covering for anyone, but think what you want with a big pointy nose. Do you think I give 2 sheets? I really don't. How many days are you going to stay up for now? Oh boy. Carl to Justin, wait, she's JB? What, Justin Bieber? What? I've only questioned why HP didn't search the party house and property when they knew it was suspicious from day one. But what was suspicious from the party since day one? What would have been the main cause to say, right, we need to check it out? I knew it wasn't a hit and run from day one, so yeah, I questioned that and questioned the social hosting charge not being filed. Oh, and I questioned why Avery had a warrant and they did nothing about it the same day. Corruption came from George when he doxed OHP, talked about their property, big house, etc. Screenshots of that as well. Lack of investigation, and it goes on and on. Oh my God, it goes on and on. If you want to pause the video, feel free to do so. You went to high school with some of these family members, but at the end of the day, look at the evidence. So just because Joyce Bergow went to high school with some of the family members in the past, how does that link to right now? Because Joyce Bergow has looked at it in different ways over time, or at least trying to in holistic ways. So it's just a bit weird. I mean, Julie, it is a suspicious death, and to this day it's not been clear to many of us what really happened. All become frustrated and want truth. But who do you trust or believe now? I do not understand why Caden would have lied. What would be the reason to do that? One day, truly believe Joyce does want justice for Noah and his family just as much as you do. I mean, an example of Joyce wanting justice for Noah is Joyce getting shit done in recent time and reaching out to the right people and getting interesting responses back. And then that's led to further discussions and things being learned or other stuff being cleared up to some extent. So Joyce has been helpful in general. Carl, I agree, it's very strange that Ellie was so negligent and seemingly uninterested. Even though I don't like TD's slander of Warlike Wrath, post a few weeks ago, yeah, we're not even going to acknowledge that. I don't deal with peasant-like mentalities and obsessed individuals out there. Just I agree, but you don't like my posts or comments. So we'll just keep going on. If you want to pause the video, feel free to do so. Joyce has not lost her way, of course. She's familiar with some people from the area. And this is what I mean. I think it's absolutely pathetic that at times locals can be the most important people in cases or missing person cases because they know the area, they know the environment, they may know the traffic, they may know the cameras and what's nearby, how far things are away, how long it takes for response times of certain resources and groups and much more. The history of the area, the history of certain family members nearby and whatnot. I've noticed that with time in other cases when you've had locals and it's helped a lot. So it can apply here too. You push away locals, you push away learning. Just a bit silly in a way. And it goes on and on. Rachel, with all due respect to Justin, maybe if you didn't kick people that were on Noah's side out of your group and kept all of the ass kissers, you wouldn't be stuck with a bunch of fakes. Okay. Twinkling, listen to yourself. Yeah, I'm from there. And it just goes on. So you're bullshit, you're all over the place. Okay. I'm just being conscious of time, that's all. There's an opinion. Let's break this down. Oh my God, it goes on. Instead you pick minions. Oh, okay. A little bit. For example, different comments. So Kim Post with the only one that did an interview. On your page, you see that statement not as someone that's genuinely interested in keeping facts. You see that as someone that's sticking up for party goers. Meanwhile, that person may have a keen sense of retaining information. Instead, you pick your minions and are expected to walk the line and not correct misinformation. Problem with that is the lapdog types you've latched onto don't possess integrity, and those that lack the specific quality are easily influenced by deep pockets. really sad to see how badly this community has imploded. But, you know, community implosion, exactly what I predicted. Okay, just thinking of his little predictions and his little crystal ball, I've had my predictions since day one I stepped in this case, and I knew exactly what was going to implode and how, and that's what's happened since. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still covering, because on my platform and my channel, it remains a little bit more consistent compared to Facebook and to some extent Reddit as well. If it was just an accident, then why not call 911 and get help? Why leave him on the road like trash? Well, Justin, if it was an accident, have you not seen my video in recent time? For example, if there was someone driving, and if somehow Noah was in the back of the vehicle, and if Noah fell out, and if the driver was completely unaware that Noah was there to begin with, or at least if the driver was just assuming that Noah was resting in the back and didn't bother looking back, they wouldn't know. More specifically, they never knew Noah was in the back to begin with. You heard nothing, you saw nothing, and your senses aren't there. You're focusing on driving, you got no clue what's going on behind you or in the back of the truck if Noah falls out. How are you supposed to know that happened? How are you supposed to know he was there in the first place? If you didn't know, you don't know, then you don't know. So you're not going to call for any help. If you don't know what's happened, then there's no need to call for help. If you know what's happened and you don't call for help, well then yeah, there is a problem. Oh my God. Gotta cloud my judgment on here. My comments keep getting deleted somehow. Which comments keep getting deleted? Don't go down the Jan Fiorillo route. YouTube can be dodgy. It's happened to me as well. And to be honest, Justin, you've left so many comments that I think YouTube has got tired of possibly deleting them, because I can see many comments of yours present. Okay, Nakona was absolutely ridiculous. She did that all on her own. I have all the messages to prove it. Becca and Joyce looked them up, not me, then blamed it on me to get the heat off them. That's chicken in my opinion. So I think some people, to do with some Texas people, made Justin shit his pants or attempt to, and he needed a clean pair of clothes, I think. I don't know. Liar, you're a liar. You lied about me repeatedly. We both know you lied. I'm not the only victim of your attacks either. You're a lying piece of shit, Justin, says Michelle. We never tried to do anything, you idiot. It was not even a convo to you. I never shared anything with you, nor did Becca. Man, you are nutting. Nutting? Ugh. That's dodgy. And Rebecca has got an emoji of pills, an injection, a cork popping, alcohol daily. Oh no, Becca, it's going to be a rough night. Wrong Roy Boy, Joyce, and I never spoke about that family. So it goes on and on and on. We've got Sherry. Shout out to Dan for supporting the channel last night. Cover-up crew paid off. It's quite laughable. Now you're using the detective's words that you're in the puzzle pieces. Not right. Yeah. Now Justin's using the puzzle piece words when it was actually the detective or the police guy using it against Justin at the time. Oh, no. I picked up on that earlier. I remember shortly after I joined the army group that you were calling the kids murderers. The golf club. Oh, is this a bit... I know that's something else. Yeah, with Justin's mindset of the possible cause of death, bit switching, changing. Autopsy, but it appears the golf clubs and the blood issue has finally been settled down. But have the golf clubs and bag been returned to the rightful owner, though, or is that still a mystery? Because it would be interesting to know at least, right? Because if it's an item that has no place in the death of Noah and it's not that relevant, it should at least be returned back. It shouldn't be that deep, should it? When I first heard about ATV accident, initially thought that's what possibly killed him, but then we met at Donna's house. And more information came out. Golf clubs were told to me by several partygoers that they're still missing. Well, the family have said that as well, supposedly. Why are they missing, though? False, you have absolutely called them murderers, man. You're truly something special, Justin. Broken record over and over again. Convinced that you believe you're a lead investigator. And it goes on and on and on. So that's 46 comments there. Wow. We got Cleo. Congratulations on 16,000 subscribers. Appreciate that. Cleo says, oh my God, Warlike Wrath. Have a good night, everyone. 16,000. Brooke, great job, Wrath. Sorry you have people crushing hard on you. Well, I guess that appears to be the case. There was one person recently, I think it was a fake account, talking about sleeping in the same bed as me, which is a bit odd. I think it might have been an impersonation account of Joyce Bergow or something like that. Very odd. What else was there? some other weird random account saying, oh, can we be friends? I love, and I'm thinking, what? I've never seen you before. Weird behaviour. Oh, and speaking of which, Holly responds and says, Warlike Wrath will be okay. Just sling him some dollars. Don't worry, you got him into this situation. Let's see if you stick around when needed. Andrea, you're insufferable. Every comment you've made sucks, Holly. And Brooke says, honey, are you okay? You need some money? Twinkly, I'm still waiting on the $7 paydays. And Brooke says, I'm on it. Beauty Gurumo. Let's contribute more to justice for real, Noah, and less towards personal drama. Oh my god, Beauty. Yeah. This personal drama is unnecessary. So there we go. I mean, how many more people are bloody crushing on me hard? Do I want people crushing on me? Well, at least to my knowledge and my presence and awareness, there's only one person that I need and want. And that's it. For as long as I breathe, that's all. That's not good enough. Glenn, shout out to Glenn. Twinkling, thanks again, Ref. You're welcome. Burgow. I don't know why I extend my words when I say that. Probably just because I want to pronounce it correctly. John, police in this case are a joke. Actually, these days, most cops are a joke. Liars who help to cover up Noah's death feel above law are going to dodge and hide from truth. Andrea, thanks, Raf. You're welcome. Appreciate you watching last night. We've got Katie. Welcome back, Katie. One at a time. Regarding the snap of Mikey with a couple young ladies, which was Jasmine Milan and Logan Jernigan at 5:27 a.m. Some of the comments I'm reading are it's been altered and why did it take so long to be shown? In my opinion, no matter what is proven, some people are not going to believe facts. Yeah, and I said this as a prediction that even when the hard evidence comes about, it will still not be enough to please people. Just like with the Dylan Rounds case, after it all being solved, people were still obsessed with the gay agenda and they would not let it go. It's crazy. I don't understand how anyone can say that they want justice for Noah and his family, but reject proof. Exactly. There we go. And as well, when people said, oh, it's been altered with, it's been manipulated, no one actually backed it up with hard counter evidence, and it's not been done since. So that speaks volume. Sonny, first of all, I'm one of those people that believed in him, as in who, what, Caden. He said interviews seems so much talked about him. Yeah, I think, wow, that's a lot of talk. But for myself, I'm in the middle. Just like in this case, I listen from three people. You, Raf, criminals, and Noah's family. That's it, yes. I get so tired of all the assumptions and arguing. Okay, support Noah. And Justin says, check your inbox. If you're going to use screenshots, please use them all. Lelia needs to post her comments as well. Thank you. What comments, though? I mean, I've shown all the screenshots today. Was it mind-blowing? Not really. Maybe for some, mind-numbing. So it'll be interesting to see if Justin Roy is happy now or not when all the screenshots have been shown. Time will tell there. But we are catching closely to where we need to be. I need to acknowledge people's comments because I've not been doing so in recent time. Like behind the scenes, so I thought I'll do it in my videos instead. And in recent time with this style, whilst it's something I did in the past when there wasn't other things to cover, there's a mixture right now, but the responses from people and reactions seems to be quite positive towards this type of stuff. So I will take it in mind and consideration again in the future. But I hope that the next video that I do is of slightly other things, and then we'll see where things go from there. But all in all, hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. If you do want to hit the thumbs up or the share button, that'll be appreciated. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think, the situation and where things are at. Justin, a bit all over the place. Words all over the place. Lines and languages all over the place. What was said by others now being used by him. What he's complaining about things is he's done himself to some extent. It's just a little bit messy and unfortunate with time. I've seen that downfall. It wasn't always this bad or with these people, but it's just got worse with time. Lessons have not been learnt either. So with that being in mind, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night for now.